Hello everyone, this is Shrike playing the Artisan of Glimmith, and we have apparently solved 90 problems already, so pretty cool. And it left us, we are resuming exactly where we left off. So we've been making sure to get the gold guild on all of our areas previously. In fact, we got +2 over the limit on those two areas. So we're going to progress and see what's down here. Esteemed Artisan, I apologize for the preponderance of constraints I've laid upon your work. Many further rules are yet to come. This area is optional. You may proceed as soon as 4 windows are complete. I commend your diligence and persistence. Let's see. Oh, he just lit up a lot of stuff. Well, I mean, we're going to try and do everything, let's be honest. So let's go over here. It's a 2. They all must be this shape. Okay. So the main limitation is just this line. You cannot have a shape that encapsulates it, for instance. So that means 3x4. I mean, we could do this, for instance. Is there anything that stops us from doing this? Yes. Kind of. But not really. I mean, it sure seems like everything just fits together by doing this. There you go. Okay, we've completed the puzzle. There's only a 2, so, you know, that makes sense, but we also got to keep an eye out for secret puzzles, because sometimes they're just way off the edge, but we already completed that one, obviously. Another 2. Well, it's a very interesting shape. Okay, well, I mean, the first thought would just be that I'm dumb and did the shape wrong. Oh, that is the entire... What? What? That is the shape? It is the shape, yeah. It's got the T-piece plus a leg. Okay. And my first thought, are these in the middle are going to be a bit of a problem. So let's delete this to start with. So a T-piece plus a leg. That is not going to fly here, that's for sure. Because that'll block this. How do I make it do that? And that fills in both of those. That seems like a pretty good starting point. This top left guy is a bit of a problem. Actually, this looks like it just cascades into victory. It does. Okay. So it's just the trick of the center to see what is actually possible to go there or not. I don't see anybody else on this right-hand side. Any other puzzles? So let's go... Well, let's check out these 2s. Very interesting shape. Okay. I'm anticipating it's going to be something like this. Yeah. Okay. It's just... Oh, we got the duck shape. We've had this shape before. I can't do that because I'll leave a space over there. So I need to think about how to fill that in a way that makes sense. I think the bottom here, I have to do that, but then it doesn't work here, so I can't. There must be a better way. Because that won't work. This would work, actually. Much better than what I was doing. And then, how do I fill in this, though? So that won't be correct. I would have to do something like... Ooh. This? Oh, that doesn't... that doesn't work. It's like... Yeah, Because I could have this here. That doesn't work. If I do this, that does work. Then I just fill it in. Okay, cool. So far, not too tough. Obviously, they're only 2s, but grab another one here. They're just giving us all these wonky little shapes, huh? So obviously this corner has to have this kind of shape. This one, not necessarily, though. Actually, 'cause it could be like this. Is there any other way to do it? I don't necessarily think so. But then what do I do about this square here? I'd have to be something like this. And would that fill in for another one? It would. And then another one here. And then another one there. I'm seeing the pattern. Am I seeing the pattern? Am I really? Oh, sorry, it's like this. Yeah. There we go. Nice little puzzle pieces. All slotted together. All right, let's stick this 3 on then. On larger puzzles, guessing can get you into big trouble. Only color shapes that you know for sure. Well, let's think about it then. Yeah, because like, especially on this one where everything's a very small, just little corner piece. It could cascade into a lot of problems. So down here, it has to go this way or this way. Don't know which yet. If it goes this way, then it would have to be this. But same with this. It can go this way or this way. I don't know which yet. So we can fill in those. This one on the top left has to go that direction. Excuse me, I didn't mean to hiccup. That just means I'm breathing too much oxygen. Trying to keep my head in the space. So that is guaranteed. This is guaranteed. If I want to fill in this square, I can do it like this, but that leaves a space. Or I can do it like this, which does not fill in the space. So that's basically forced. This square here can only be filled out like that. Same with this. Same with this. And I think it will just cascade into victory here. Which I'm still not sure about this corner. I think I have to do this. Forces this. And that, which means this is now forced. And let's find out if I screwed this up horribly. He thinks I did. I think I did. No, they warned me about this. Where was my assumption wrong? That is my question. And is there a way for me to fix this? Maybe, maybe not. That could go either way. If it goes this way, I'm stuck. If it goes this way, it works. There we go. Okay, it's very close. It was this spot here. I assumed it could only be completed in this L shape, but it's not wrong. Or that is wrong, I should say. Because we can obviously have it like that. All right, cool. We are at 6 of 14. Single 3 line. Well, we have to start here. Thank you, game, I guess. This one has to go here because there's no other way to fill in that square. After that, though, I mean, I could have 3 going down here or horizontally, and that's the equivalent. It's the exact same either way. I could do this. I'm just gonna like YOLO this. Because I don't necessarily think I need to, well, okay, I do need to think about every square. Okay, that's fine. So like in this 3x3, there's no way to change that, yeah. Because these two are forced, so I think that's fine. Now here I can do this. Or I can't do that actually. I could do that. But this one is, oh yeah, I can do this. Or I can do I don't know. Is there anything else I can do? I guess I could do, yeah, I can do this or the other way. And I don't know which. I don't know which is correct. So on the right here, though, again, it's very, very hard to tell what is necessary. Where's the force to move? Where it just doesn't make any sense. So we follow this path, right? And it just kind of makes a mess. So what if I do this? That forces these moves. Does it ever clean up? I feel like no. Okay, it gets ruined right here. So maybe it actually is forced to do this, but that forces this. Yeah, that has to be filled in these spots, so that's actually forced, but then this gets messed up. So am I wrong about this top left corner? Am I wrong about that? Is there any way to do this that's not that? I don't see a way. Like, it doesn't matter if I go horizontal or not. It makes no difference. It fills it in. And because of these... Yeah, this one in particular forces it to be vertical, which forces this one to be vertical. It cannot be horizontal. And this just blocks out. So then after that, I have the option of going this way or this way. If I go this way, we know cascades into bad stuff. Mostly. Because of this. So, if I just look at the center here, actually, maybe then. How would I fill out this entire center area in a way that doesn't cause bad things? Oh, this area here gets messed up. I shouldn't be guessing checking. I need to logic my way into this. So that is a problem because it's just a 3-line. It's hard to find limitations of where it can go because it can go essentially anywhere here. That's the kicker. So between these, it cannot fit vertically. That means it has to be horizontally 2 different lines. I don't know if it's out like this or out like this or in the middle, you know, but it's 2 different lines. So we know that. Here, I mean, it could be lines like pretty much anywhere. Same with here. So that doesn't really help me. Okay, well, we can eliminate this because then I can't fill in this space. So that's not true. At most, it could be out to here. If I do this, I can't have a vertical space here because it would be that. So it could be all the way out here. Could be something like this. That is possible. I feel like if we follow this idea, what are we going to do about over here? I can't have a 3 here, which is forcing vertical ones here. And if I do this, then I can't fill in both. So it would have to be like here, but that doesn't work because then I have this. But if I do this, then I can't fill in that. There's also this space here, which has to be 2 horizontal ones. So actually these 2 are set in stone. There's no other way to fill in these 2 squares. Okay. And that means we could have a vertical one here. No, we can't have a vertical one there. That means to fill in these, I think I have to have those. It means that forces this as well. So then how do I fill in the things on the right? I could, in theory, do that, but then this blocks this, and then I can't fill in these squares. If I do staggered, then it blocks those. Wow, that's kind of funky. I do this again, we run into problems, which means I'm probably making a wrong assumption somewhere. This is only a difficulty 3, which means I'm missing some key concept, and I don't necessarily know what. Because I can't do this, because then I've got these 2 spaces that I can't fill. So what am I doing wrong? I mean, maybe it's this. No? I feel like I'm stuck here because I guess this could be filled in. It could be like this. And then I have a vertical here. That is possible. And then I could have verticals here. Does that clean up over here? Not really. Not really, to be honest. Well, maybe. Nope. Answer is no. No, it does not. I'm stuck. I can't fill all that out. So it looks like these side areas are also really important because they're 4 crossed. I can't fill this in any other way. Like this spot here. I don't know about these yet. They could be any weird combination of things. It could be here or it could be here. So actually I could lock those 2 spots in. I don't know what else it's going to be. Up here, I can't do vertical, so it has to be 2 horizontal, which forces this to be horizontal, which forces this to be vertical, which forces this to be vertical. These 2 have to be vertical, forces this to be horizontal, forces these to be horizontal. Well, then I'm stuck here. Then I'm stuck. It doesn't work. That means something wasn't actually a forced move that I thought was a forced move. I didn't expect to be stuck on a 3 difficulty. I have made some dire assumption that is not correct. Why is this so bloody difficult? If this was over here, is that possible? I mean, that forces this, but I can't make the rest of this work in that case. It's just, it doesn't fit. Okay, try again. So here, there's no other way to draw a 1x3, right? Makes sense. If I do a horizontal here, it blocks these 2 squares. I can't fill in this 1 square here any other way other than a 1x3 vertical. Right. If I want to fill in these 2 squares, I can't do it vertically, so it has to be horizontal. This one has to go to at least out to there. Actually, it has to go there. That is forced. There's no other way to fill in this square, given these 2. And then filling in this one has to be horizontal of some means. Could be out here, could be out here. Don't know. If I look at these 2 squares, they have to be horizontal. I cannot fill them in vertically. Same with these. Cannot fill in horizontally, so it has to be vertical. It has to be vertical. It has to be vertical, it has to be vertical, it has to be horizontal. No other way to fill that in, especially since this is blocked. That means these have to be horizontal to fill in this gap and these gaps, which means for this to be valid, it could be a vertical. And then this is horizontal. Okay, that looks good. And that makes my assumption up here, in the original, that's where it went wrong. I assumed this could always be a 3x3, but it can't. It can always be a 3x2. Can't always be a 3x3. And obviously this can't be here because then we'd be having an impossible to fill space there. So I think those are locked in. This is the only way to fill this in. And then these. And then these. And then this. And it should just all fall into place now, possibly. Because these have to be vertical. This has to be vertical. These have to be horizontal. Forces all three of these to be vertical. And oh my gosh, we did it. That took longer than some of the, fours, that's for sure. Okay, we got a shape bank. So I could do this, or I could do this. So I don't know which. For the top, if this is like this, I can't fill in the top, and vice versa. So these both have to be this. This has to be the W or the M, whatever you want to call it. And then I just do this. There you go. Okay. Some of them take like 10 seconds. Others take like 10 minutes for me to work my damn brain around it. So this, in the bottom right corner, it can only be a 1x3. None of the others fit. The only thing that can fill out this space, this like triangle here, is the cross. Same with this, it has to be a cross. The only thing that fills this out completely is a square. And again a square and a cross. Up here, 3x1 is the only thing that works. Then this is a little more tricky. I need to figure out. That doesn't work. I don't think I made any logical gaps there. I was going pretty fast though. There's no way to get across into this. And I don't think I can get this with 3x3s. I can't. So I did mess up somewhere. Okay, then I think on the right-hand side, I don't see any other way to do this. Actually, I do. No, I don't. So this can only be this could be across or up or down. Same with this, but then it leaves gaps. So, which is why I think, obviously, it just has to be this. Here, I don't have a 1x2. So, like, this has to be a square. This could be a cross, but it would leave a 1. Same with a line. So, it has to be square. This also has to be a cross. But I'm back where I was, because this also looks like it has to be, there's nothing else it can be, right? Huh? 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 Oh. Oh. Wait, no, that doesn't work either. What did I do wrong? What did I do wrong is my question. I've made some assumption that just doesn't track. What does the game say to me? Everything entered so far is correct. Okay. So I'm just failing at the end. Like, this doesn't work. I can't fit across it no matter what I do here. This doesn't work. Huh? Huh? but there's gotta be. There's no way I can do that. There's no other way to do that. This is 3x4 squares. Not even an even amount of squares. I have to do that, right? Nothing else fits in there. Which means I'm forced to fit this in. Ah, there it is. Okay. I shouldn't try to jump to the conclusion. I should have kept doing the logical steps. 3, 3, lots of 5, 4, 3, 4. Okay, there's a lot of scary stuff over there. Are there any secrets that have been revealed? I don't see any little hidden ones. All right, let's do this one on the left. It's a 3. A 5 line and a square with a peg, like a mallet or something. So this cannot be 5 in a line because there's not a space. So it has to be this. Easy. The only thing that fits here is the 5 in a line. The 5 in a line doesn't fit here, so it's got to be the P. This spot here, I guess it could be something like this, but wait, is it? No, because the line's on the right. So the only thing that fits here would be this. I mean, I could do a 5 line there. Then I'd have to do this. Oh, I don't quite do it by doing it that way. I don't quite do it. Oh, we're close. We're close. All right, let's think about it a little more carefully here. So, in this area here, as we can see, there's a lot of different ways to draw the P. And obviously the line works. What about this square? We know it's always going to come out to here. I don't know if it's going to be a P or a 5 line across. If it's a 5 line across, it blocks this. So it cannot be anything but this. Okay. Which means this has to be a P. And then this is the only way to fill it in is a P. The only way to fill this in is a 5 line. The only way to fill this in is a 5 line. In these corners, if I do a 5 line, I can't fill in the other ones. So they have to be P's. And I can't fit 5 lines in anymore, so they're just P's. All right. Let's do this one. 3x3 and a 4x4. Well, this is even amount across, so I can't fit a 3x3 back there. That was my first thought. So they almost certainly have to be this. I could fit a 3x3 here if I wanted to. And that leaves us with even areas. Yeah, this just works. This works. That's just thinking about evens and odds. That's all there is to it. So I like those ones. I don't have to do like rotational symmetry and all this other stuff. The first law of puzzling: whenever you find a pair of cells that must be connected, join them together. So it's a square and a 3 line. Those are very compatible. So if I look down here, it is an even amount, but I can easily make an even amount by doing 3 lines, or by I could do something like this, you know. But there's no guarantee that that is correct. So where do I go to find out what could possibly be correct? My first thought would be this. That leaves awkward areas here. But yeah, because then I can't deal with this area at the top. So that doesn't work. Is there any other way to finagle this into working? I don't think so. It looks like it always results in something bad. Okay, what if I do this so it evens out? I don't know. Like, it just fills in reasonably well, but then I've got a 3x3 instead of a, or a 3-piece corner instead of 3x1. Where is the assumption that I have to make? Where's the forced move? That's my question. It's got to be around these weird shapes, you know? Obviously, if I have a square here, how bad does it get? If I do this, it gets real messy real fast. I think it's just going to be always offset, and I won't be able to win. So I need to kind of try and avoid that if at all possible. If I do this, I trap a spot though. If I do this, I trap a spot. So I'm thinking it's almost certainly horizontal here. Which forces this and forces this. Well, it doesn't force that, but it forces this. Which forces that, and that. Then I have to try and figure out a way to even it out. It doesn't quite work. Because I'm always going to get left with 2 there, but if I go horizontal, there's no way I'm going to fill this in. So I'm thinking that's not correct. Actually, I don't think this is correct either. I'll get a 1 space square there. So my question is, how doth I do this? If I do that, yeah, we're gonna get all kinds of awkward amounts. It might just be another even odd style thing, but it's a more complicated one. So obviously this is strictly wrong, so it can't be that. It would block things off. So it has to go at least there. I don't know if it's going to be... Does that force it to be a square? No, because like I could have this. But it could also be a square. It's either this or a square. If it's a square, what happens? I mean, this nonsense happens. I cannot see how to fix it. Well, actually, maybe. Maybe. Oh, that does work. It does work. Okay. So the trick was figuring out this portion right here. Once you figured out if this was a square or if it was horizontal pieces, everything else just cascaded into the solution. All right, cool. I am fully expecting... Oh, wait. What's up here? Anything? I bet that opens up when I complete enough of them. Probably. All right, what's we got? 4, 5, and 4. Well, let's do this 4. 1 by 3 and a 2 by 2 again. Okay, well, if I put a square here, it doesn't work because then I can't fill this in. Therefore, and it can't be a 3 by 1 horizontally, so it has to be vertically from here, 3 by 1. I can no longer fit anything but a square here. I can no longer fit anything but a 3 by 1 here. Now, I can already start to see this is a problem. But I can easily fix that. Everything just fills in. It doesn't just fill in. It doesn't just fill in. And there's 1 square left. How's there 1 square left? That means I'm using the wrong number of pieces. Interesting. I guess I could solve this a slightly different way down here. Then this leaves a spot there, which doesn't work. I could do this differently, potentially. There's a square up there. That forces this to be a square. This is square of... I think that results in the same problem, yeah. Okay. So we got this shape here. I need to figure out... Well, these are going to be something. I don't know if they're going to be squares or if they're going to be 3 by 3s. Or 3 by 2s. If they are like this, Actually, it's this area down here that matters the most. I think it has to be like this. I'm not sure. Because then I can't fill in the rest of this. Oh, wait. Yes, I can. Yes, I can. Cool. Okay. Or second law of puzzling. Whenever you find a pair of cells that cannot be connected, draw a border between them. Okay, so we got an L piece and a U shape. So this could be this. Can't be over here. Oh, well, actually, yeah, no, because if I make a U shape here, I leave a space in the bottom right corner. I could do this and this, for instance, or this. I don't know which. Here would have to be this. There's nothing else that could go there. Yeah, which forces this because again, a U piece would leave one square. Which means the only way to fill this in is this. Because if I do a U piece in any orientation, it's going to leave this spot free. Now this could be either or, but it can't be here. If I do a U piece here, it's going to mess everything up. Oh, actually. I've made some mistake. Because how am I gonna... Yeah. I've done goofed. So this is the line that really matters the most, I suppose. Well, I know this is always going to happen. Can't go to the other one. I don't know if it ends there or not. Same with this. I mean, this has to be something like this. Which means, but then I get stuck here potentially. Oh, no, actually that's fine. That forces this to be here. And do something like this. I think so. Oh, but then that blocks that. So I can't do that. It has to be a short one. And then in order to get into both of these, I think it has to be a U. No other way around it. But I'm not seeing how to complete this if I do it this way. It doesn't work. Unless... Oh, it does work. Okay. I forgot about this wasn't completed yet. On the left. Turn 5 windows silver. There it is. All right, number 5. Or difficulty 5. We have a lot of options here. So this is going to be probably building out to see what can possibly fill in different areas. So this could be here. I don't know if it extends farther anywhere else. If it goes this way or this way, but that's the only way to fill in this corner. In this corner over here, if I do this shape, it breaks it. If I do this, it works. If I do this, it works. I do that. Okay, there's a lot of options for the bottom left corner. That doesn't really help us. We'll go to the top right, because this will definitely limit our shapes. We do that. Or I could do this. If I do this, then I'm putting shapes here that I can't solve. Like I'll need to be able to fill out these side areas. So it almost certainly guarantees that it's either one of these two. And then same for up here. Except this one cannot be... Could be like that, or could be the other way. I don't know if it reaches up or not. So it's something like this then. I don't know if it goes there. And I don't know if this extends to the left either. On this side, I'm gonna have to do something similar. If I don't know if it goes to the fully to the right, but if I do this, then we know the bottom left is now this angle. I don't know if something extends here or not. If it did extend there, I wouldn't be able to fill in this area. Oh, I potentially could still. Anyways, this I think is going to be a very similar situation. I can't extend it any farther because none of the shapes do. So it's just like that. It's forced to be like that. Which forces this to be one of two shapes. If it extends there, we're not going to be able to fill out the top right. So I think it has to be this. Then how do I fill out this? Oh, shoot. If it's this. Ah, there we go. That's how. So that is how it works. Then we look down here. If I extend this and extend this, I can do this. And then I'm kind of stuck. I'm a little bit stuck. Because I need to fill it around this center area. This looks really good, but then I'm stuck here. I don't have a shape that can actually go there. Oh, crap. So I'd have to do something like this instead. But then how am I going to fill in? I see. There you go. That looks quite nice, actually. There's a 4, a 7, a 6. Oh my gosh. Well, let's start with the 4. Let's start with the 4, shall we? Oh my gosh, look at these shapes. Okay, well. Coming out of here, it could be this shape. Or it could be the other one. Could easily be this. I'd be inclined to believe it's that one, but for the benefit of a doubt, we'll just leave it as it is. In this corner here, our sideways, our T shape, our big T shape, cannot possibly fill this in. At least not on its own. And if I do something like this, it leaves that open to do this. Is that even a correct shape? No. No, it's not. So I don't think that works. But I have to be able to fill in... Oops. I have to be able to do this. Although this one could potentially be the other shape. There's no guarantee. It could be another, it could be like an inverse. Unless we look at this shape that I have to fill in. And how am I going to fill that in? If that's the case. Now, it's pretty easy to fill it in like this. Actually, that's not a proper shape. Oh, but I can do this. But then I leave one space here that doesn't work. So probably not. But I think this one is kind of forced no matter what. Well, not necessarily. If I do this, I'm screwed anyways. There's no... Well, almost. Wait, that kind of works. And I just have to figure out how to fill in this. That's fine. This is looking more and more like it's going to be like that. Yeah. This is going to be a little tricky. This spot here. Okay, this space here is going to be funky. If we continue with our current path. Does it go farther than that? It does go farther. Yeah, that's not really gonna work well for me. How do I fill that in intelligently? Uh-oh. So maybe... Oh, wait, this is gonna be forced into bad times by doing it this way. I don't think this is correct. This could go around like here. But then if I do... Oh goes like that. But then I leave this awkward space, so that doesn't work. That doesn't work. I might be wrong about this bottom left corner. It looked promising. It did look promising, but how do I deal with this left-hand side? I don't know how to deal with this. If this is here. This is not here, then it's not too bad. But as it is, it doesn't work. Is there any other way to do this so that it actually fills in? I don't really see a way to do it. Obviously, that's the space. The shape is too large, man. Oh my gosh! Is everything that big? Jesus, that's well, that's what she said, I guess. Like, that doesn't work very well. And I can't fit a T-piece. Oh, I could fit a T-piece. I can fit a T-piece in like that. But again, this left-hand side just gets screwed, so I think... Okay, let's retry again. My assumption that this has to be here is not necessarily true. I mean, that doesn't fit. Nothing else fits in this slot. It always has to go this way, and if that's like that, then this has to be here. Question is this, if this is a T-piece, I could do this, but then I can't fill in the left-hand side, so that doesn't work. If I ignore this for now and look at the left-hand side, say, how many ways can I fill this in? I can do this and this. Then this doesn't fill in unless I do this, and then it creates a one square tile, which is not ideal. I could do it this way, which we had before, but it's causing this nonsense up here that I don't know how to solve. Oh, I do know how to solve it. I do know how to solve it. But never mind. Carry on. This doesn't work. It's so maybe it'll all just fall into place, you know? Maybe. It does. It just falls into place. Okay, we were very close before. I just had to see this. Okay, cool. There's a 6, a 7, haha, and there's a 4 in the middle, which goes forward into a different area. Oh, there's a bunch over hidden ones over here now. So let's do those first. What is this shape? What is this nonsense? Oh God, rotational symmetry. There's only gonna be so many ways they can fit in. That's the only way I can think about this. So like this spot here. How would I fill that in? Oh, this hurts my head so much. So we have this M shape. We think about that. That's probably a good way to start. We got an M shape. And then coming off of it to... And then it's going to go back up. Okay, so that's the shape. Okay. Well, I see it kind of again, but it's going to be rotated. That's not correct. Oh, God. I was just hoping it would just tell me, you know? Oh, God. So, all right. So we got the M shape. I don't think I can actually... Wait, it's this one? Oh, it would be this one, I guess. So we're actually doing it... Oh, frig. Rotational symmetry. I can't memorize. I can't visualize it. Hold on. I've got to do screenshot, open, and I rotate it around. This doesn't work. I don't think this works. And unless, my brain can't do it. My brain can't do it. What about over here? So it has to be coming off of this. Then 2, 3, 4. What did I do wrong? What did I do wrong? There's got to be a nubbin off of it somewhere. There? It's there. Okay. Clearly, I just need to figure out how to figure this one out. Okay, that one's... There we go. My brain. All right, this is the 4. Okay, we got another shape bank. Well, there's only one way in the bottom right corner for this to go. Only one way for this to go. Only one way for this. This could go to the right or to the left. I don't know. At this point. If I go to the left, then it leaves that. Which is probably not right. I'm seeing some difficulties in this corner. Already. So I don't know if this is necessarily correct. Oh, it's not the right shape anyways. Oops. No, so I was doing it right. No, I'm not doing it right. I don't think I can do this way. This 3x3 doesn't work out for us doing it this way. The burrow is going to have one spot free that I can't fill in elsewhere. Would almost have to be doing this. Oh, it does work. I'm just, again, rotational symmetry, not my strong suit. If I do this, I'm gonna have here. I don't know if the nubbin's gonna be there or there. What about the top right? This is forced, actually. That means this probably has to be like this. Oh, crap. Oh, it's like, what? 3x2 and a 1. Oh, the nubbin has to be on. Oh, that doesn't work. That doesn't work. Okay. It can be this way. It can be this way. That works. I'm just gonna blindly. Okay, that doesn't work. Uh-oh. Maybe I shouldn't just blindly do it. Stop trying to skip to the end, dude. And just try and reason this out. So I could do this. Then I block. I can't finish this. So it has to be like this. I don't know where it's going to complete. Same with this. If I complete here and here, that's not bad. Now, how am I going to fill in all this, though? Because that would force this to be here, and then I can't... Doesn't work. Does not work. Plus over here, of course. So... I've done something wrong. Is there any other way I can do the top left? Yes, there is. I could do this. And then this. That blocks this space off. So that does not work. What if I tackle from over here? I think the big problem with this is it has to be here or it has to be from the top. this. That blocks, makes an impossible area in the top right. So it probably has to be there. Can I even fill in this? I don't think I can. I think it has to be something like this. Yeah, except for this 2x3, but you know, if you just ignore that. No, come on, man. There's a lot of ways to finagle this, though. There's a lot of ways to finagle this. So that I can do it. Yeah, all right. That's a really interesting shape to work with. I like it. Okay, these are only 2s. Oh well. There's so many. There's a 5 there, but let's do the 2 first. Let's do a 2 first. Well, to fill this in, it could be that, or it could be... It can't be that. I think it has to be this. But then that blocks that, so maybe not. Oh. Oh. If I do this, I could have the string coming off of this or the other side. Same with you, actually. Same with you. Same with you. Nice. All right. Yeah, twos are good. They make me feel good. So the 5, 6, 7 available to us. That'll bring us to 22 out of 23, which makes me think there's one more that I missed somewhere. But I don't know where. So I guess we'll just do those 3 and see what happens. There might be extras as well, because the other zones had extras. Okay, it's an L shape. I can work with that. I can work with that, because this spot only has a single thing that works. I love that. That's great. Now, if I want to fill in these, I think that's the only pattern that works. Yeah. Which be, oh, well... Sorry to say, I've already messed up. No, never mind. Never mind. We didn't mess up. We're good. These are all forced moves. Forced moves. Forced moves. It just kind of solves itself. Until I realized that one of them wasn't forced and I was dumb. Speaking of, oh no, it still works. Nice, very nice. That was a 5. That did not feel like a 5. That was so easy. Let's do this 6. All right, we got 3x3s and 2x2s. Well, immediately you could have 2s and 3s here, or vice versa. I could have 3 and 3. That doesn't really narrow anything down. If I do a 3 here, I can only have 2s here and here, which causes a problem. So that does not work. That means it's got to be a 2x2 in the corner. Now this could be a 3x3 and a 3x3, but then if I do that, I cause problems there. So that doesn't really work either. That's probably also a 2x2. If I do this, it seems fine thus far. But then it causes problems here. So this could be a 3x3, actually. And that solves the problem. This has to be a 2x2. This has to be a 3x3 because it's an odd number. After that, if this is a 3x3, it causes problems here. There's no space, so it has to be a 2x2, which forces this to also be a 2x2. This can be a 3x3. It has to be because it's an odd number. These have to be even. This has to be even. This has to be odd. This has to be even. This has to be odd. This has to be even. Even. Odd. Even, even, even. Even. Yes! I love those ones. They're so easy. That was not a 6 difficulty. I'm starting to realize I have some certain strengths and certain weaknesses. Difficulty 7 is the highest in the game. These puzzles are diabolically tough. We recommend saving them until you've completed most of the game. As you gain experience, you'll learn subtle tricks to help overcome them. What do I look like? Some kind of chump? So, we can come out here. Well, we have to for each of these. After that, I don't necessarily know. Okay, let's see. So, this could be here. It could be here. It could be here or here. Okay, there's a lot of options for that. For this one, there's that, or that. If it's like this, actually, let's see. In the top left, it looks like it would. If this was a triangle, a T-piece, then this can't fill it in. So I don't think it can be a T-piece. I think it has to be an L-piece. I think so. Speaking of, if this was an L-piece to this side, it would block, so it has to be an L-piece to that side, which forces this to be an L-piece. So far, so good. If I do an L-piece this direction, this is nothing. It can't work. So it cannot be an L-piece that way. So it has to be here, and this has to be an L-piece. This is forced to be an L-piece. Nothing else fits. This could be a T-piece, or this could be a T and this could be an L. I don't know which yet. This has to be a T-piece. So if this is a T-piece and this is... Oh, that does work. Versus this also works. So I don't know. Okay, what about here? This has to be a T-piece, actually. So that has to be an L-piece going that way. This has to be an L-piece going this way. This has to be a T-piece going that way. Okay. Problem. How do I deal with this space? If this is the case. Uh-oh. I have made a wrong assumption somehow. Because I can't fill it in completely like that. And even if this went like this, it wouldn't be enough. So this is probably wrong then. But then if that's wrong, then this would have to be... Oh, it can be an L piece. But then I have a two space here that doesn't work. Ruh-roh. I thought I was being a genius. I thought I was so smart. I thought I was so smart. Turns out I'm not. Turns out... Well, I might be close. I might still be close, but... This doesn't look like it's working, so hold on. Let's try again. If I run through our logic again, we'll probably figure out where I went wrong. So really, it's this middle part that is the deciding factor. But okay, if this is a T-piece, that's where my assumption is wrong, because this could easily be an L-piece here. So that doesn't okay, so I was wrong about my very first move. Can we fill up the center in a clever way and then build off of that? That's my question. That doesn't work. I don't want to guess and check. Oh, but that doesn't work. So, well, we're pretty much immediately wrong. Okay. The top left is very close to each other, so I feel like that's a good spot to start. If this is a T-piece, it can't be a T-piece. We know that. Do we know that? It can be a T-piece. I'm stupid. It could be. If that was that, it would force this. This is just under the assumption that this is true. It doesn't force anything else. Like, all of these could be so many possibilities. So many possibilities. I think these probably have to be rotational for it to ever make complete sense. Because then I have to be able to... I think I have to do it the other way around, maybe? So if I do this... Because I need to be able to fill in this space. Okay, so it can't be all T-pieces in the middle. This is impossible. Because it'll cause gaps on the outer... in the outer rims. But this one... Yeah. So how am I going to fill this in, actually, then? Okay, so that's a good way to think about it, actually. So if we have our starting point here, if this is to be filled in both, I almost certainly have to have this be a T-piece, either in this direction or in this direction, and not be an L-piece. And if I do it like that, I'd have to have this here. This guy almost certainly has to be, well, maybe this works. Same problem. This works pretty well. This works pretty well. Okay, let's check our work. Then we run into this problem. Yeah, we run into this problem. Where I am stuck. But I can turn it up that way. Now we got most of this filled in the bottom half. We can probably find a solution for this. So this guy has to be here or here. Question is, what do I want from the middle? Because I could easily do this. Then I have to be able to fill in this spot here and it doesn't work. So it's probably not that. If he goes left, I can't fill in this. So he can't really go left. Right? How would I ever... Yeah. So he actually has to go that way? And if this is a T-piece, this could be this. That doesn't quite work, but if this was an L-piece and this was... That doesn't work either. Shoot. Wait, no, maybe. It's not going to work over here. It's not going to work over here. I need to be able to fit in a T-piece somewhere here. And if we can do that, we win. Pretty big if. Wait, can I fit two? Not really, no. Not here. Or if I could remove a T-piece. That's too big. I can't do that. I feel like since these ones are one deep, they probably are T-pieces. That means maybe it's over here that's wrong then. If I do that, then I'm doing cascading mistakes over here as well. So I'd rather not assume that. I would... yeah, this isn't... Ooh. Doesn't quite work. Okay. Shoot, nuggets. Well, what I'm going to do is we're going to restart because I have an idea. Because I'm right about this. If I go left here, that's a valid shape, but then this space we can never fill. This one here. Therefore, cannot be that. It has to be this. That is our one forced move. That means this can either be this or that. I don't know which yet. If it's this, I could do this. If it's this, I've got no way to fill up this square. That corner. Therefore, this is forced. This is forced. Right? I think that tracks. Now, this could be any number of things. If it goes this way, we could do this. If it does not go that way, and we try and fill in with that. We could fill in with that. Okay. So, indeterminate, which direction we go there. On the top left, he could stick out one or two. I don't know which. Because I could easily fill it in with this or like this. So indeterminate there. If we... Shoot. Okay, so it doesn't really give us any more forced moves. Unless we follow down some chains and see if it just works out, you know? Which is entirely possible. What about this guy? If he goes this way... can I ever fill this in? I can. So let's just do some tests here, okay? And see what it would take. So we've filled in the top half pretty much perfectly. How do we fill in the bottom half? This guy can't go this way. It won't be valid. He could do this. If he does, let's just play it out. I see. Hold on. I can't do that. I cannot do that because I need this to come out here and here. I need those to fill in. It could go to the left. It could be T-pieces. I don't know. If they were T-pieces, this corner gets screwed. It's probably not. That probably forces this. God damn it. That messes this up. Okay, hold on. We go back. If this one's a T-piece, this one has to be a T-piece like that then this would have to be a T-piece. But then how do I clear this space? It has to be like that, which traps this. If I do that, then this makes this impossible. I can't fill in this square. So that's a problem. That is a problem. I do have this. If I do this, the right-hand side not get filled in. Damn it, man. There's got to be a way to do this. There's got to be a way to do this. Then I can't... If he goes down, I can't actually fill this in. I feel like he has to be a T-piece in this case. And then... that is forcing this to be a T-piece, either this direction or this direction. But then I can't fill in this. Or this. I always have spaces left over. So I'm missing something. If I shifted stuff in the, like, the top right, perhaps. Could I even do that? I don't really see how. And this is not rotationally symmetrical or anything like that, as far as I can tell. In terms of like the whole overall layout. So that's a problem. If this is like this, I'm stuck. I can't do the bottom left corner. How do I do the bottom left corner that satisfies everything? Can I? It'd have to be that, right? And then this, but then I can't satisfy this. I can't do this cross and this at the same time because of this guy. That's the real catch. If I did this, then I'm blocking him. So we're just wrong. We're wrong somewhere. Can I solve this in a different way? Yeah, because I can do that or this. But then this comes... Oh, yeah. We can do that. That does shift things around a little bit. It might work. Maybe not. Not enough. I could do it the other way around, maybe. Not really, no, because then that just evens it out. I can't get this filled in. Unless I had to do a lot of jimmying over here. Is there a way for me to do that? Is there a way for me to do that? If I go here, here, I'm stuck and I can't get out. I can't fill this in unless I do this. This still needs to be... And it's only 1 and 0 instead of 2 and 0. And the other one's over here. Is that better for us? Doesn't look better for us. Really this guy that needs to change, huh? Would be this. I can see why they recommended coming back to this, but later. Fuck. Yeah, I'm gonna always be left with 1 here. It's not really gonna work out. I do this. And this. Again, it's gonna be the same general problem. Unless I can shuffle this stuff around some more. Oh, it's so hard, dude. So hard. Just doesn't work. So I reasoned myself into this being forced. Because I went to the right. There was no way to fill in this square. Yeah, because this would be blocked. It'd be like so. And no matter what I do over here or here, it doesn't matter. I cannot get to that spot. So this is literally forced to be this shape and this shape only. Okay. We have the option of this being either or. We have this option of being either or. This being the option of either or. This could be anything more or less. This one, I don't know. If it goes down here, do we have a similar problem? No, we can fill it out, no problem. I don't know. Here, again, I don't know. What about in the middle? If this is filled out, well, let's see. This could be... Put them as anything. We don't know, but we know they need to be filled in. They're too far apart to be truly connected to each other. Right? And too far apart to be connected to any of these other ones. So yeah, these are 4 key places. I need to make sure that whatever configuration these are in, I can fill in these spots and the ones in the middle. So for instance, if this was like this, and like this, and like this, and like this, would I be able to fill in this square? Yes, technically speaking, I could do that. And this, that would work. And this and this. So like we could do that. That's possible. I could also fill in this and this and this. But then this gets screwed over. So we backtrack. Alternatively, I could do something like this. And I could, again, do this. But then I'm stuck. I can't do anything in that room. Okay. This is just one possibility. There's nothing saying I have to do this. How do I fill in these squares? I mean, the only way to do it is this. And then I have to be here or here. If I go down here, then this gets forced. It has to be a different shape. And then this spot would have to be filled in like this, which forces this, which forces this, which breaks this. So it does not work. So that's clearly not correct. Which means that implies this does not go up there. Unless it goes this way. If it goes that way, we have more options down here about what it can be. And you can still be this. That's actually fine. But then this gets broken. There's no way to fill it in. So that is just a dead end. That means it's, well, in that combination it's not there. Because I could do this, for instance. And this still works. This still works. This technically works. But I don't think this works. Oh my gosh. I did it! I did it! Okay! Oh, that was so good! What a great puzzle. That is the solution to that. Unfreaking believable, dude. So we get this one force move up here, and then I just iterated through the different possibilities and said, okay, this is not possible. This is not possible. If we go down this path, it brings us to an unwinnable state. I don't know how you can do that without guess and check. It's not really guess and check. It's more of like, I have to go down the chain of logic a bunch of steps to see when it actually fails versus every single step having a yes or no definitive answer. I more had to do like a decision tree. All right, continue. So 22 out of 23. There's one more somewhere at the very least that I've not found. That presumably will be easier than that. Unless it's this guy. Do you think it's this guy? Note what you know. The key to success in trickier puzzles is marking down partial progress. Merge cells when you know they belong to the same region. Draw borders when you know they exist. Do this immediately, even if you don't know the full shape of a region. Filling in the facts will reveal new ways to make further progress until the puzzle is complete. So like, I can do this. Lots of walls we can fill in here. Oh boy. Okay. It's a lot of just like immediate information. Okay. Where do I start is a good question. We got Gemini, which means they have to be the same shape, and we've got the symbols, but it's only 2 symbols, but there's a lot of them. Oh boy, there's a lot of them. So this guy, he has to be out. He has to come out here at the very least. He can't go into another red square, so he's forced to go here. He's forced to go here. So he's a complete shape. There's nowhere else for him to go after that. That doesn't already get a symbol he has. Therefore, we know this is the shape that has to be here. How do I put that shape in a way that gets a red and a blue without any others? It's like this, like that. And this is a safe spot. Beautiful. I like that. So this guy can go a number of ways, but he has to also satisfy this one. So I'm imagining it's probably this. That's my assumption. It has to be the same. They have to go and collect two different things, because any other shape would either get two blues or will not be valid or doable over here, or it runs into the same issue of running into multiple blues. Yeah. So this blue cannot reach this red or any other reds, so it has to go to here. So this shape is forced, which forces this shape. I did it backwards, but the validation is there. Great. These two, there's nowhere else for them to go. So yeah, that's it. Now here's the next question. If I do this, it has to be the same shape over here, but that doesn't give me a blue. But even if I do this, it doesn't work. So curious. Very curious. I may have made a mistake already. It is close, but it is not quite there. I don't have a space. So if I undo this, yeah, there's no other way out of there. If I went like this, it wouldn't help. Like, in theory, I could do this, but it leaves a one tile space, so... And then I can't extend this one because it has to match that size. So yeah, I guess... Well, how do I do this guy then? Because I can't do this because it'll block that guy. It's a problem. Like, this is gonna bitch at us. They're not the same, yeah. Uh-oh. That means I've made some fundamental mistake. Probably around this. It can't be a square. It can't go to any others. If it's a square, then this would be invalid. So what do I do over here? What is this nonsense? Oh no. Can't reach. It can't reach, my dude. That doesn't work because it's the same color twice. What? This is only a difficulty 4. What did I do wrong? All right, well, let's look. Speaking of, how the hell we're gonna have the same shape here and here? It could go... That wouldn't work. That wouldn't work. This would work. And satisfy it. But that also blocks off this blue entirely. So what? If I do one, it doesn't work. What? What? If I do this... Okay, that works. that's so much easier. And then this and this. Well, I overcomplicated this to hell and back. It was so easy. It was actually so easy. This is forest. I'm I'm pretty sure I just have to do this and this. These are the same. Yeah. Complete the final puzzle in the market area. Handful of gold. Guild 5 windows. Okay, that is the final puzzle. Is there not 2 extras like the other zones? I see you. There you are. Can't escape me. Okay, let's not start guessing. Let's just actually think about this. So, it's this shape in the middle that's the most important, probably. I can't put a 4 line here. And I can't put a 4 line there, so it has to be this. That's actually just straight up the only thing that works. In the top, I think I probably have to do this. Then how do I deal with this? I don't think I can. This could be 2 4s, actually. And that looks like it works way better. But then I have an issue down here. I have an issue. So perhaps not. It doesn't work either. Okay, since that has too many possibilities, because they could also be like this or whatever. Actually, can they? I don't think they can. Oh yeah, that doesn't work. We tried that the first time. How do I deal with down here could be multiple things. It could be this. It could be this. I think the biggest problem is here, because that blocks off, that leaves something open, this leaves something open. So that doesn't work. Which forces this to be filled with lines. And that is forced to be with the 2x3. This is also forced by the 2x3, 2x3. These could be 4 lines. There it is. Okay. There should be one more. There should be one more somewhere. Based on what do we know about the others, they should be +2. We're only at +1, I think. Yeah, +1. Where is it? Where did you deviously hide it? I might end up just finding it later, but... So that's the one we just did. You really gotta try and get all the angles. Could be farther out, like floating islands. They've done that before, but... Oh! No, I did that one. They need to have beams of light above them. Of course, I have not done it. Oh, you can actually see the puzzles on top. Ones that we completed. With the colors we picked. That's a nice little touch. I don't know where the other one is. That's obviously the new area. Wait, is it? Shape bank. Oh, I was looking. Oops. I was looking farther back in the previous area. That's the one we just did. That's the new area. This we already did. Was for that guy anyways. It's gotta be... Oh. I see the light. There it is. Found it. Oh, wait. This is very Didn't we already do this one? I could have sworn I already did this one. But it's not completed, so... We totally did this. I'm pretty confident. And it hurt my brain because it was rotational symmetry, but... So you got this 3 here. I mean, I could do this. Does that block off this at all? No. I mean, it seems like it'll just fall into place. If I just do what's actually possible, you know? Yeah, okay. We did it. +2. Nice. Okay. My horror is finding out that there's a +3, that there's a third extra one. But hey, if you enjoyed this, please leave a like and subscribe if you're not already. And next time we'll go to the next area, and wow, there's a lot more game to go through. A lot more game. But this game's awesome. I highly recommend it. If you want to play it for yourself, I'll have a link in the description. And I will see you guys next time.